want to change the narrative that a good, responsible guy is lame or boring. I think we need to start changing that. I think we need to stop saying that. We need to stop saying that because a man is a provider, he is responsible, he's looking for a wife and a family, or a stable family life. We need to stop that narrative that man has to be he has to be lame and he has to be boring, because honestly, the thing that a lot of these women consider not lame or not boring is the type of guys that you probably wouldn't want to have a future with, and they don't want to have a future with you. So we got to stop pushing that narrative or going with the idea that a guy who's responsible and a good dude is somehow lame and boring. We got to stop that, because that is not true. We're starting to hear too much of the idea that guys who are responsible and the guys who have standards and looking for feminine women, good women to be mothers for their children and things of that nature, and men who just have their stuff together. We got to stop equating that to those men being lame and boring, because I don't believe that it is. Just because you're responsible don't mean that you're lame, and it doesn't mean that you're boring. There are a lot of men who are actually a lot of fun. They know how to have fun. They know how to have a good time. And they're responsible, good men. We got to stop that narrative too, because I'm starting to hear that a bit too much, that the men who are responsible and they know where their birth certificate at, that they're lame and they're boring. That is just not the truth. It all depends on the person. This is all person specific. This is not a general rule for every man. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to change that narrative too, because I just don't think that is true. I know a lot of decent guys who are fun, know how to have a good time, and still go home and be faithful to their wives and have a whole family life. So we got to stop that narrative too, and stop these women, because as much as some of these women are starting to come out and realize certain things, they're still linking it with something that could be looked at as a negative. And then look how they say it, lame and boring. Nobody wants to be considered lame or boring. Maybe you're not as outgoing. Some people, maybe you're private, you like your private time, or you like certain things, or you have certain things that you're more interested in that may not be considered fun to others, but what you're doing may be fun to you. And there may be somebody who enjoy the same things that you enjoy. I wouldn't consider it lame or boring. We gotta stop that. So I just think that when these women are talking, they say that same, you met the guy, which she made a lot of sense. And this particular woman in that clip, she goes back and forth. She has some things, that I agree with, and then she has some things that I disagree with, but she kind of teeter-tot. She goes back and forth on what she think about men versus women and stuff like that. So she's sometimes all over the place. But in this particular instance, I pretty much agree with most of what she was saying as to how a lot of women have met the guys that they're looking for now. Once they've been ran through and you're older, you met the guy who would have been a good husband, who would have married you, who may have taken you seriously if you was worth taking seriously, and who would have given you the things that you're looking for now once you've been ran through. See, that's the problem. I think we've pushed so much in society that women should push this empowerment thing, which I think is a big, huge mistake. And now they're trying to recover from it, but they don't know how. They've pushed that narrative so much, this independent mindset, that you don't need a man. You could just do everything by yourself. And now I think that's hurt women. I think that has set women back more than anything else. I think that has caused women to be in the positions that they're in now, where they're much older, they're set in their ways, they want what they want, and they will not settle. But you're looking for a man who has his priorities straight, a man who has standards. But now that you've had your good time, you've lived your life, y'all know how it go. You live your life, you ran up the body count, you got kids by men who never married you, never prioritized you, and now you have all these high, unrealistic standards for a man for men who have always been responsible for the most part. You want them to come in and now take on you and your whole brood of kids you've created by several different men, and now you think that this is what they should do. They should settle for you. It's so backwards till it's ridiculous. And it makes no sense to me, but this is where we are. But once again, I say this, and I would tell young women, listen, don't listen to your old grandmas and not the ones who talking crazy, talking about, you need to be independent, you don't need a man. Like, that's crazy talk to me. I don't think that is putting women in the right direction. It's setting them up for failure more than anything else. And I think a lot of women realize it, but they still don't want to fully accept it. Successful MD says, calling a man lame brings two things for me. One, he is not toxic and drama free. Two, the term is used because they have no carrot to dangle over him. I get what you're saying. Exactly. This is, look, and thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. And this goes right along with that, Successful MD. When they talk about men who are 35 and older and don't have no kids, that's a red flag to the hyenas, because they know that they have kids and they have several kids by several different men. So what you're trying to do is shame a man for being responsible, but at the same time saying you want a responsible man. But him not having any kids, having his priorities in order, wanting to be married before he have kids, is somehow a red flag to these women, because all that's saying is, yeah, you can't look at him and call him out. You can't call him a deadbeat dad. You can't call him a buster. You can't call him dusty, because he has his things in order. He made sure he had his things in order because he have standards and he had them from the beginning. Every man is not out here just screwing every woman that they meet and just being out here reckless with their bodies. Every man is not like that. So the ones who aren't, those are the men that these women were not paying attention to. These women gravitated to the hoish men, the men who are out here just running and sleeping with everybody they could, the men who could get all these women and just running through them. That's the men that these women gravitate to. But it's also the same men that they complain about. But there's no justification for their actions and why they're sleeping with these guys and making babies with them. They have no accountability whatsoever. There's like they in it, but they're not. So if you know you've been reckless, you gravitate to a reckless man because y'all kind of on the same boat. But somehow you expect him to grow up and change while you continue to be the way you are. Whoever you want to be, you can be. But you want this man to level up and become something that you want him to be, but you are not leveling up yourself because you don't feel that you have to as a woman. Women think that they just are perfect the way they are, and that's just so far from the truth. And this is where I think a lot of women need to get, start self-evaluating themselves and learn that, baby, you're not all what you think you are. I'm just saying. 2024, 2025, women are still behaving the same way. 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old women are still behaving the same way. They want that popular guy that they are used to, that they seen in high school and college. They want to go after the jock. They want to go after the guy that all the women wanted. Because, by the way, if he can't get women, then I don't want him. But that's your very problem. It doesn't make any sense. And if you listen to a lot of these women long enough, you'll see how senseless all of this sounds. So you want the guy that every woman is running after, right? Fast forward now, the 1%, that 1% guy that all these women are going after with all the money, got all the options. It's the same thing. They're just older. You're going for the same type of guy, but you're looking for a different result from him. You know that he got all the options. You know all the women are going for him, but you think you're the special one, the one with the super vagina that's going to put it on him, and he's going to be like, oh, you the one. Oh my God, this vagina done whipped me so good. You're the one. I'm just going to drop all these other beautiful women, all these other options that I have. I'm just going to drop them for you. No. I don't care how good you think your vagina is. He gonna take yours, that one, the other one over there, and more.